it's hard to find versatility, performance, and authentic luxury in one car without an astronomical price, but not impossible. Make no mistake, the Audi A5 is not for the budget-minded. However, sometimes it's okay to let personal desire outweigh the rational voice in your head telling you to buy a Toyota Corolla, go live in Kansas, and do tax evasion. If you have the cheddar to swing it, the Audi A5 is one of my favorites when it comes to attainable luxury. Now, before I explain myself and brace for the Lexus bros in the comments, there are a couple new things for 2024 that are noteworthy. Adaptive cruise and lane centering are now standard, though they really should have been in the first place for this kind of money. You will also find a heated steering wheel on the base, and almost every model will have remote start available through an app. Of course, this also means the base price is like $1,600 more expensive. So now I want to talk about the substance that helps justify the cost. So we will have a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 as standard. It is the long-running EA888 for the nerds out there. In the A5, this engine is a mild hybrid, which helps it shut off at a stoplight or while coasting to a halt. More noteworthy is the potent power band. So 201 horsepower and a healthy 236 pound-feet of torque come as standard. But honestly, I think the numbers are underrated because it'll still get to 60 in under 7 seconds with no issues, and go with the 45, which adds 60 ponies, and you're getting there in about 5 seconds, according to the last time I drove its sister, the Audi A4. Either way you go, you'll have a 7-speed dual clutch, shifts very speedy. It's also surprisingly smooth. When in the regular drive mode, you can tell this prioritizes fuel economy instead of downshifting and really relies on its low-end torque. Put it in S mode and it will respond quicker than a dog trying to steal a slice of pizza. And for a 4-cylinder, it doesn't really sound bad. Just under half throttle there, you can get to highway speed with no issue. It has the effortless passing power that really completes the luxury experience here with the 45. And even the 40 is pretty relaxed. Briefly, I'd like to thank my friends Josh and Royal on the Eastside for letting me test drive their A5s to make this video possible. Josh has a cool car, and Royal East also has a neat inventory, knowledgeable staff, and never marks up their new cars. If you're in the market, check them out. Another important part to a luxury car, in my opinion, is confident handling, and this has an abundance of that. It might not be fun, but it has a surgical level of precision. The steering itself isn't quick, but it's direct. There's no play on center. So as a result, you have a car that feels pretty natural. Plus, the windshield is close to me, the belt line isn't too high, keeping visibility good and further improving how approachable this car is. Even though it's $57,000 as equipped, I'm not intimidated in the slightest. And the suspension keeps this glued to the ground. This level of stability is complemented by its standard all-wheel drive. This is the Quattro Ultra system. If you step up to the S5, it'll become more traditional with a Torsen limited slip differential in the center, whereas the A5 will default to front-wheel drive but rapidly engage the rear for inclement weather, spirited acceleration, or cornering, among many other scenarios. And because of its longitudinal mount, it's not really shy about doing that either. This really does feel like a full-time setup. And with the 45 power plant, you have standard sport suspension, which is still pretty comfortable. Now, if you really want it to be as smooth as possible, the A540 will have a slight advantage. The 45 is never jittery. It reacts quickly to road imperfections and handles most pavement without transmitting shocks into your spine. But it's not soft and has its limits on the most abused road. With either, I'm pleased with how forgiving the suspension is, especially considering that the US models don't seem to offer adaptive dampening anymore. Though on the topic of comfort, would like to say at highway speeds, wind noise is kept down, but some tire noise is noticeable. Just like some other Audi models, the A5 comes in different flavors, like a slick yet functional Sportback, which I have here. Then there's the traditional coupe and a convertible cabriolet variant. You can also get it with the black optics package, which will help you adopt the dark, but if you want to be born in it, you can get the black optics plus, which is available for the 45. There's varying performance levels with the powertrains, especially if you consider the S5 and bonkers RS5, which also further enhance the handling. And there's a wide variety of features, including some interesting things like integrated fog lights. They're located within the headlight instead of the usual location, which is taken up by the autonomous braking sensors. There's also the laser lights of the Prestige, which work above 40 miles per hour to elevate your high beams, and every Sportback model has a power rear tailgate and a spare tire. The interior, for several individual reasons, is a big selling point to this car. So first and foremost, the quality is rock solid. Everything has a nice construction to it. While there is a decent amount of plastic materials, none of them feel too cheap. The panel fitment is tight. You have expensive looking accents, along with stuff that really convinces me it's metal, and satisfying physical inputs for all of your HVAC. It's all tactile and makes sense, which is kind of hard to find these days. Even the infotainment system is pretty straightforward and responds quickly, though the screen itself is kind of ugly with this dashboard, and all of them come with this setup here standard. You also have heated front seats, that heated steering wheel, leather upholstery, a big sunroof on every model, and you'll find other usual luxury features like a 360 view camera, a head-up display, a highly configurable digital gauge cluster, ventilated front seats, plus a really nice sound system. But that doesn't really stick out to me as much as the little touches, like some extra storage next to your knee, a height adjustable center console lid that comes in handy when you've demolished your rotator cuff while snowboarding. There's also the extendable thigh cushions that you get with the Premium Plus that coddle long legs, and really the driving position is comfortable too, along with the seats. They're well shaped, lumbar adjustment standard of course. Outside of the small center console and glove box, the cabin makes this an easy car to travel with. I think another standout here is the versatility that you get with the Sportback. None of its competitors really offer a configuration like this. This still retains a sleek look, but it also provides you with a huge cargo space that's not only surprisingly tall, but it's long. It comes with a 40-20-40 split rear row and an okay amount of backseat space. Tall adults may not like it, but for a small family and occasionally lugging around your friends, I think this would work well. And the last reason why I see this as a strong performer after several years of service is the style. While subjective, its sharp lines, tasteful curbs, and strong stance give it a classy presence. That design language carries through to the inside. It's understated and upscale. When I hop out of it, I feel like a college professor and not a business bro's son from upstate New York. Let me know your thoughts. While it's neither a pro or a con, we should also touch on reliability. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot of common issues to talk about here. Now, Audi has had oil consumption and coolant leaking problems with this engine in the past, but in the A5, reports of both of those are hard to find. The most common issues, according to carcomplaints.com with NHTSA reports, are autonomous braking bugs, miscellaneous complaints with the infotainment and electrical system. Some people initially had power steering failure too, but none of these problems were reported in a spooky volume. Consumer Reports mostly confirms this, and owner reviews on cars.com and Edmunds have been stellar. While I'd hands down advise a Lexus IS to the person that prioritizes reliability over all else, the current A5 isn't half bad either. Definitely the biggest downside for the A5 is the price. While it has more features at the entry level, it is more pricey than an A4 or the more practical Q5. I'm also disappointed that the 40 powertrain, even though it makes much less power, still takes premium fuel. Even though this does get good gas mileage, VW makes plenty of versions of this engine that are happy on a regular octane. And I could nitpick things like the small cup holders, the simply slapped on touchscreen, the somewhat compromised back seat space, the sport suspension being the only option for 45 buyers, but really I'm grasping for straws. As I said in the beginning, even though you can get these for under 50 grand, this doesn't have a super strong value proposition. When spending this kind of money on a car that's slightly larger than a Civic, financial sense takes the back burner. The most important question is, how does it make you feel? Its combination of confident handling, potent performance, and comfort makes it relaxing to drive. The details and the unique design touches make it feel special, and I think that's what the A5 does better than any other Audi. With a redesign coming soon, I hope this retains its distinct approach to luxury. For your money, instead of getting the most amount of space or features, the A5 gives you more originality. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like to help me take on the maniacal YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more fun, detailed car content without fluff. Become a member for an additional podcast and to help me take the channel to another level. I'll catch you in the next one.